Alright, hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Gacha Guide. Do you want to know if a servant is good enough to spend your hard-earned quartz on? Great, then allow me to give you the information for it. Today's topic servant is the Daughters of the All-Father, Valkyrie. We will be covering the points you see on screen, so let's jump into her stats first. But before we do, let me mention that Valkyrie is a very special case, as she is not one, but three different characters all wrapped up into one. We have Ordelinda, the black-haired one, Hildur, the pink-haired one, and Thrude, the blonde-haired one. Each character has a different personality and a different voice actress, which is super cool in my opinion. Now on to the technicals with the stats. First off, Valkyrie is a 4-star AoE Lancer. She has, at level 80, 8,037 attack, making her the lowest attack statted 4-star Lancer in the game. Conversely, her HP at level 80 is 14,025, making her the highest HP statted 4-star Lancer. Low attack, big HP. Her hidden stats show that her NP gain is 0.86%, which is quite good, well above the average. And as for her cards to help work with that, she has 3 hits on her quick card, 2 hits on her arts card, 3 hits on the buster card, 4 hits on the extra, and her noble phantasm has 7 hits. Pretty average on the hit counts other than her noble phantasm card, which has a pretty high hit count itself considering its AoE. Her star weight, aka how much priority she has to get critical stars for her cards over other servants, is only 87, which is a bit below average. Her star creation rate is at 12%, which is a little bit above average. So overall, pretty balanced on her stats between both her normal and hidden stats. Now, as for her deck in Noble Phantasm, we are rocking a non-standard 2-1-2, which focuses on quick over arts, so 2 buster, 1 arts, 2 quick. And her Noble Phantasm itself, Ragnarok Lifbrasir. I hope I said that even slightly right. Closure Illusion, Girl's Advent. Aside from being a very anime-ass magical girl attack name, it is an AoE quick noble phantasm, which ignores evasion, deals damage to all enemies, and has a chance to instant kill demonic enemies, based on your overcharge, between 50 and 100%. This overcharge effect is honestly very weak. Not only is it limited to only demonic enemies, but at 100% death chance, that is not a guaranteed kill. So even at her max overcharge, this might not proc against demonic enemies because resistance means you can resist 100% chance in Fake Go. It's weird. Anyway, not a great overcharge effect, but otherwise, it's nice to ignore evasion. She does good damage. Let's move on to her passives. Her passives are Magic Resistance B for 17.5% increased debuff resist, and Divinity A for 200 extra damage. Neither of these are amazing, simple, nice little buffs that do very little, so not much going on here. Let's move on to her skills, though, where we've got a lot more going on. First off, we have Primordial Rune. This skill is a 3-turn self-buff that increases her quick card effectiveness between 20 and 30%, increases her Noble Phantasm strength between 10 and 20%. This is a fantastic skill. This affects her Noble Phantasm in both the quick card effectiveness and MP strength, and 2 of her cards in her deck. And due to Scotty coming out very soon and being able to use its effectiveness for 3 NP turns in a row, it is an absolutely wonderful, fantastic skill. Moving on, we have Swan Dress. This is a self-buff that applies a 1-time evade, which lasts for 3 turns, a 1-time debuff nullification, which lasts for 3 turns, and damage cut for 3 hits that lasts for 3 turns. All of this is a temporary buffs that last for 3 turns for herself. Honestly, not the greatest of skills. The evade's nice, the nullify debuff sometimes comes into play, but not always. And the damage cut helps with her tankiness, but isn't the most hype thing in the world. Moving on, we have her third skill, Weaver of Fate. This is a self-buff that lasts for 3 turns, which charges her MP between 5 to 10% each turn, restores her HP between 500 and 1,000 each turn, and gains critical stars between 5 and 10 each turn. So this is a 3-turn, do stuff every single turn skill. Not bad. it's not quite as good as getting 30% MP just in one skill on one turn. At least often. That's better. But this is quite serviceable and helps with her tankiness and helps with helping gain critical stars and filling out that extra MP that you might just be off from your loop, and this can help reach that loop. So what materials do we need to level these skills? Honestly, pretty cheap overall, not bad. We have 36 Proofs of Heroes, 15 Yggdrasil Seeds, 20 Ghost Lanterns, and 20 of one of our new materials, Aurora Steel. Other than the Aurora Steel, these are all low-rarity materials. They've all been around for a long time. They're all easy to get and show up very often. So overall, very, very easy to max her skills out. Altogether, to max her out, you will need 108 Proofs of Heroes, 45 Yggdrasil Seeds, 60 Ghost Lanterns, and 60 Aurora Steels. Expect to get stuck at level 8 skills due to needing the new material, but otherwise she's very easy to level her skills up. Now, let us compare her to other servants that deal the same thing. As a 4-star AoE Lancer, her main competition comes down to Elizabeth Bathory, Artoria Lancer Alter, Bin Makumel, Jolter Santa Alter Lily, Neja, and Sakura, I mean Parvati. Anyway, I'm not even going to pretend Scotty doesn't exist to support her, because the main reason to ever get anything AoE with Quick is to pair it with Scotty. Simple as that. So, let's pretend Scotty exists. Valkyrie is top of her class, period. She is standing at the apex of all of her competition. Even though Parvati is also an AoE quick servant that can loop, I think Valkyrie does it better despite having a little bit lower damage. She makes up for it with having better skills and overall having better effects to help her out. Her setup is so good, she can even compete well with 5-star Lancers such as Karna. That's pretty scary, how powerful that is with double Scotty. So she is number one. Number one. Well done. In my personal opinion, Valkyrie is very, very good. Her skills are great, her base NP gain is great, and with Scotty, she is an absolute looping machine. I think she is the best AoE looping Lancer in the game for the Scotty system. I like her more than Parvati for this, due to, as I said before, having slightly better skills, in my opinion. For Archer nodes, or challenges involving archers, she is an extremely powerful asset to have. So, if you roll for Scotty, let's talk about what skills we should prioritize. Well, personally, I think that you should probably focus on Primordial Rune, her first skill, first, as it helps with her quick and NP damage up. Makes her looping a little bit easier, makes it a little bit stronger. But you can also choose Weaver of Fate as your main. These two, I think, have equal priority to each other. Whichever one you choose, it's up to you, will both give you a very helpful boost to her power. And finally, Swan Dress, you know, it's okay. The damage cut is the only thing that actually levels up. It's nice to have the lower cooldown, but overall, you can even leave this at level 1 and be happy with it, to be honest with you. Now let's move over to craft essences to equip her with. As a quick servant who is an MP-focused looping machine, our first choice, and honestly the only choice you need to think about, is One Summer, which gives you a 10% quick up, 10% MP damage up, and 50% starting MP charge. This is the CE to use for the longest time. It's going to be your best choice. Now, if you're not quite reaching the loop, not quite getting enough MP return, because maybe some enemies aren't getting overkilled, you can take Magical Girl of Sapphire, which gives you a 30% NP generation up and 50% starting MP charge. This makes it a little bit easier to reach that looping status, just in case you aren't quite making it. And finally, if you just want raw damage, we have the Black Grail, which gives you a massive 80% Noble Phantasm damage boost, at the cost of 500 HP per turn. Since Valkyrie's an MP looper, she gets a massive boost out of this for multiple turns. As for servants to pair her with, let's take a look. Oh look, it's Waver, he's made it to the list of... Wait a second, there's a blank spot. Waver isn't here. Oh my god, look who's been dethroned. It's Scotty to dethrone the man. That's right, Waver has fallen from his #1 status for every servant because Scotty is just that good. She has a 50% ally MP charge, a 3-turn 50% quick card, and a 100% quick crit damage buff, and a 3-turn 30% defense down on all enemies. She makes looping possible with her quick buffs, and fills in any extra needed NP if you don't quite make it. She is easily the most important support for any quick servant, period. Next up, though, if you want some extra help, we have Summer Ishtar. She has a 3-turn 20% quick effectiveness, buster effectiveness, and 20% NP generation buff for the entire team, making looping stronger and NP regain better, allowing you to loop a little easier, hit a little harder. And next we have Helena, who has a 20% NP gain and 20% all cards buff. Again, makes your looping a little bit more effective and can help fill in that extra little 20% buffer if you don't quite make the 100% NP regain. So too long didn't watch? Very simply, this is a great role. Absolutely fantastic role. Her looping potential with Scotty is extremely high. She will run 3-turn quests very, very quickly with back-to-back-to-back NPs, can take on challenge quests well with this due to also having sure hit on her noble Phantasm, along with decent tankiness. She's part of the new meta, and I highly recommend her. And also, the best part about her, why have one waifu on your pickup when you can have 3 waifus with your pickup? Let me know your opinions on Valkyrie, and if you enjoyed this video, follow on Twitch, leave a like, all that good stuff, yada yada. Thank you again very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You should probably roll for Valkyrie and roll for Scotty.